Good morning. My name is Dave Hartman. I'm an instructor and training director here at Gunsite Academy. With me today is my good friend and partner.
Hi, I'm Scott Burgess. I'm an instructor here at Gunsite, and we want to talk to you this morning, real briefly, about your carbine course and what to bring, what maybe not to bring, things to think about before you come. So speaking of carbines, let's talk about that thing hanging around your neck.
Yeah, if you're coming to a carbine course, you might want to have a carbine. A light, manageable AR-style rifle with a sling on it. Sling is mandatory out here. It's analogous to a hand holster for a handgun. Maybe a quality optic. A magnifier would be nice, but it's not really necessary. A light, once again, would be a nice thing to have. But in case you don't have a light, we're going to teach you how to run this carbine at night without a light, but we'll get into that. So make sure it's a reliable, quality carbine that's that you've shot. It's reliable, and we'll take it from there.
So again, with regard to the carbine, we'll get into some of the accoutrements that you need to have. But how about a handgun? Don't we also require students to bring a handgun?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to want you to have a handgun because we are going to do handgun transitions, and you're not always going to have the carbine on you. So at least you always have something on you.
As a backup.
As a backup.
Yeah. So with regard to the accoutrements we're going to use, let's talk about the gear.
Well, Scott, we'd like you to have at least 6 quality magazines with you. We would like you to have at least 2 magazine pouches to have up on your belt. If you don't want to go the magazine pouch route, we also have a chest rig that you can use that will hold some magazines. Besides that, we'd like you to have a dump pouch. Now, this dump pouch will mount on the back of your belt.
Sure.
And as you're removing magazines from your magazine pouch, doing your weapons manipulations, you can stow them in there, and also you can have spare magazines and a handful or 2 of ammo to support your training on the line. And you can start reloading magazines and moving your magazines out of the dump pouch forward into your other pouches to keep you up and running.
Sure. Well, we talked about hardware. How about we talk about software, us? So we're going to come out here. We're humans. We're fallible. We need to pay attention to this big round thing in the sky. So let's talk about that. What about this stuff here?
Yeah. Welcome to Arizona, folks. We're 5,000 feet. Sunscreen. Can't say enough about that. Lip protection also. Staying hydrated. If you have a Camelback or hydration system, that's a good thing to have. But every range you go to, we're going to have water stage. We're going to give you a water bottle. So breaks will be frequent. So when you're back punching up magazines, we want you drinking water also. So as long as you stay sunscreen, hydrated, you're not going to have any issues.
Sure. Along the lines of safety, we're going to be out on this range. A lot of things flying around. Probably sunglasses and a good hat.
Sunglasses, hat, and ear protection.
Sure.
Out in the range, you can get away with sunglasses, but once we go indoor simulators where it gets a little dark, we do our night shoot, we want a quality pair of clear glasses. Now, if you wear prescription glasses, they're shatterproof lenses, you're good to go on that part. A hat is a mandatory piece of equipment, as we talked about in earlier situations, that piece of brass going between your glasses and your face, and you don't have that brim there to bounce the brass off. It's going to make for a very uncomfortable couple seconds while that brass sizzles on your skin.
And if the hat is a real issue for you, then at least something that's going to fit tight to your head so that you don't have that issue potentially.
Exactly.
So we talked about clear glasses at night, and that we would talk about this later. So what about this handheld light?
Yeah, for the basic carbine class, even though it's a nice idea to have a light on your carbine, we're going to teach you how to run that handheld light in case this mechanical object that relies on batteries and bulbs goes down, that you have that handheld light in reserve. And besides, you don't want to be sweeping everybody with your carbine light. You might want to have that handheld light, especially if you're in your house, your place of business, and you have friendlies in there. You don't want be flagging them with your muzzle of your AR-15.
Sure. And then back to the human factor, we're out in the sun again, so let's talk about these things real quick.
Okay. What we have here is a shema. It doesn't have to be this elaborate. It can be just a bandana. Keep a hot piece of 5.56 brass going down your neck. Plus the cool towel works on evaporation concept. Dunk that into some water, wrap that around your neck. Adds a layer of comfort and protection from that hot brass.
Sure, and while we're on protection, how about those elbows and knees?
Yeah, in the carbine class, you're going to be doing lots of ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of kneeling, a lot of prone, a lot of wear and tear on those joints. So you might want to have a set of knee and elbow pads.
Sure, and those the brass out here, the rocks out here. When you do it one day, not a big deal. When you do it every day for a week, it gets to be a big deal. And we get down into some pretty interesting positions on the range.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't want to go down on a sharp piece of brass or rock like you're saying. We only have so many ups and downs on us. We don't want to shorten those ups and downs.
Sure. And so before clients get here, what might they want to do with their weapon system before they roll in?
Folks, if you have access to a 50-yard range, what we'd like is we'd like a 50-yard zero on both your irons and your optics. If you don't have access to a 50-yard range, do us a favor, put it on paper at 25 yards. Okay, this way it'll give us a rough place to start. We're going to spend pretty much the first morning putting zeros on these things, and what we want to end up with by the end of the week is a 200-yard zero. And if we don't have the basic zero on it day one, we're chasing zeros all week. So if you're traveling, you take your optic off, you get here, you reestablish. We're gonna re-zero anyways, even though they advertise it will return, close to point of impact. We're not going to take that chance. We're going to re-zero everything. So if you have access to a range, 50-yard zero, absent that, 25-yard zero would be great.
So I guess it's get her done, folks. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything. Hopefully everybody is soaking this up and mentally, psychologically, and physically preparing to come out to Gunsite to do some serious training.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing you and start stretching out those joints and getting that gun zeroed.
Be safe out there. Have safe travels.
See you soon.